Hello, Doomloopers! Welcome to another episode of the Doomloop Dispatch, the show that covers the worst parts of the San Francisco Bay Area. My name is Kevin L. Jones, and with me whenever possible is...
D Scott Miller.
All right, we're doing another headliner. It's basically just, there's so much going on, and we have so much we want to talk about, and sometimes guests are hard to get to, so we're just going to roll with just doing the news. I love this format, honestly, especially there's so much to talk about. There's so much going on right now that I just want to keep talking about it all, Don't need to have a guest on to talk about it, but let's get into it. Where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, first thing I want to say is, like, to all of our listeners, is that we've been having a little bit of trouble lining up people to interview. And we've been kind of mystified until we realized that we've had our head down for so long that we didn't realize that the holidays were coming up. So it's going to be a minute because people are going to start going into hibernation mode. And we hadn't really thought about that. We kind of got gobsmacked on that level. So you might see us talking about things like movies or books or any old kind of thing like that coming up soon. So get ready for that, guys.
Yeah, we'll do some evergreen episodes where he puts them in the bank,
Yeah.
So there's so much to talk about, especially with new candidates running for stuff, especially I mean, we could talk about Connie Chan.
Let's talk about Connie Chan first, because that is the big news. I mean, she just made her announcement and she just came out with her first commercial. We were talking about her last week. So it's interesting that we kind of saw this coming and it actually happened.
Yeah, well, everyone was saying it too. Everyone's like, "Oh, Connie's gonna run. Just watch," And it's so funny too, because if you see, actually, so Scott Wiener, State Senator Scott Wiener, has been running for a while. I mean, he put in his hat even before Pelosi said she was going to retire. And so, but it's so funny because, that entire time too, he's been running against Saikat Chakrabarti, both of whom are trying to play progressives. I mean, the only difference really is that, Scott Wiener is a Zionist while Saikat is not. And that was basically the only thing that differentiated him. And Scott never went after Saikat. He never said anything. But as soon as Connie does, boom, he's jumping on it.
Baby. 10 toes down.
I mean, seriously, like Omar just put up a good point too. Like, seriously, several months he's been running. And of course, what is he attacking her on? Affordable housing, I mean, that's the only thing he has, because that's truly who he wants to please. His donors are all real estate folks. They're all the people funding YIMBYism and everything else, Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, but there are, I think, valid criticisms of Connie Chan around certain issues. But I mean, I just like the idea that the playing field is widened, because I didn't like either one of the options. I mean, like, you have a billionaire who has never performed ever in any kind of progressive spaces. You were on somebody's team. Who was it? AOC, right?
Yep.
I mean, like, you just tangentially involved with AOC, and all of a sudden you're supposed to be this like progressive freedom fighter. I don't see anything in your record to support that, friend. I don't see anything in your record. And Wiener, well, we talked about people who are career politicians, and Wiener is definitely one of those guys who, like, these guys, he's always had his eyes on bigger prizes. And this is just another opportunity for him to, like, unfortunately further his career. I think, and I think that's the thing that's really, at least Connie Chan came in with an agenda. At least she's trying to connect herself with her Chinatown roots. She's trying to connect herself with working people. And, all politicians make missteps, and all politicians do sometimes betray their own personal agendas and sometimes their own constituents trying to get to something else. So, I mean, like, I'm prepared to accept Chan's missteps for now. I mean, but the more we dig into her record, we have to be open to the possibility that some politicking that happened that we weren't necessarily fans of. So that's how I feel about it.
Yes. And that's a great point too, but like at that same time, it's just great to have somebody that feels like a real progressive and somebody who actually is way more involved in San Francisco politics. I mean, Saikat, it just came out today that he actually lives in DC. His main residence is DC. Yeah.
and the nerve of him to say he forgot. Like, how do you forget that you own a house, man? I mean, like that's a terrible alibi. I'm sorry. That right there is disqualifying within itself.
Yeah, totally. And he was kicked off. He basically was forced off AOC's team because of, I believe, a scandal where he was directing funds to a nonprofit he had. So it's basically some shady stuff going on financially. And which, I mean, he's a millionaire. Like, what is he doing? I mean, he would have a good rep. I mean, he helped start Justice Democrats, and he, helped AOC beat Joe Crowley, which was, such a huge change in the wind of politics. Right. But man, at the same time, it just seems like he's so scummy. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops out now that Connie Chan is running, and he doesn't really have something to stand on.
Well, a lot of people are already like going around thinking that perhaps that's what he was supposed to do. He was going to be the person to help aggregate Weiner. I mean, that's what a lot of people are talking about right now. His whole plan was never, this is more of a hobby project for him, right? It was like kind of like, what do you call that? Design opposition.
Oh, you know yeah. I mean? Yeah.
Like it was opposition by design. And then like, he was going to drop out after a while, and then Weiner would just be up there by himself. And like, I concede Weiner's too powerful. He's too strong. I concede. So, I mean, like Connie Chan shaking that up. I mean, and also London Breed dropping out is also an encouraging thing too.
Yeah, that was fast as well. Fast. Wow, she was not involved. But it also is kind of crazy too how it came out right at the same time she kind of is dropping out. Was that story too about how her cousin was in a gunfight with the candidate for police chief, San Francisco police chief.
Yeah, you got that. It wasn't that Mission Local. No, that was
I think it was the Chronicle.
It was the Chronicle. The one thing. Okay. I'm not no defense for London's cousin whatsoever, but there was something in the story that it reminded me of the Dave Chappelle joke.
Oh,
because
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. How does
the article says the article doesn't even say that it was crack.
Yeah,
the article doesn't even say it. It says white rock-like substances.
And it could be drywall.
It's drywall? Was it drywall? Because you need to tell me you guys found this white rock-like substance at the scene of the crime, and you didn't take it to forensics. You just like, okay, the cop wrote down white rock-like substance, and then that was it. That sounds like this.
Yeah,
that sounds like let's sprinkle a little bit of crack on there. So just sprinkle a little crack on that,
just to kind of solidify everything. Yeah, and just to cover our bases.
The story itself is really weird too, because basically what they're saying is that Breed's cousin was pushing the guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
he's pushing the guy in a wheelchair, and then the cops say, "Hey, stop, police!" And dude like turns around and starts shooting. And then like, but wait a minute, aren't you pushing this guy in this wheelchair? Why were you pushing the guy in the wheelchair? And then there's two people who were found who were actually shot by the same gun, which by the way was stolen from Sacramento.
Whoa.
It was stolen from Sacramento PD. That's what they're saying. And there were two dead bodies in a car, and Breed had the gun that was stolen by the Sacramento Police Department. And so he commits a double homicide that goes, "Come on, my wheelchair friend, let's get out of here. Let's skedaddle." And you mean to tell me that's what happened? Like this guy actually goes and shoots two people in the head in a car, and then takes his friend in the wheelchair and starts pushing him on the getaway.
No one will believe it's me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like really, there's so many weird. There's just too many weird things right there. It's too weird. I'm sorry. I mean, like I know the guys run, and I mean I know the cop is running for top cop and all that, but the story that the Chronicle shared had so many holes in it, and this is one of the things that drives me crazy about the Chronicle. You don't ask questions.
Yep.
Go
on. Oh, okay. So all I'm going to say is that a lot of the times those cops will come around, and if you add anything to the story, you talk to anybody else, you in any way dispute the narrative that the police are pushing, they'll take their revenge. They won't answer your calls. They won't respond to you. They'll give you scoops later. They'll favorite other stations and stuff. I mean, I would not be surprised if that was way more about kind of protecting their connections with the SFPD.
Well, yeah, I mean, but to me though, I mean, the first question would have been, was it crack?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, Was it
Totally.
crack though?
Hmm.
And the white rock like substance. I see that you guys wrote white rock like substance. Was it crack? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I think that's a fair question to ask because which one
Yeah.
is it? Which one was it? Was it a double homicide, like some kind of revenge thing? Why was he pushing the guy in the wheelchair? Was it crack?
Yeah. No,
Like that's a,
if this was, if the newspaper was actually good at its job, like
yeah,
maybe it used to be at some point, you would ask these questions, you would
yeah.
get these answers, and it just shows another mark against legacy media right now.
No, man, there's so many. There's so
Yeah.
many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But yeah. So I mean, so yeah, glad that London Breed is out. I'm glad she's not gonna kind of embarrass herself too. She
Right.
probably just put the feelers out there and it's like, well, that's not working out.
No.
But then what really pisses me off, and I'm really, really disturbed by it, is Eric Swalwell running for governor.
Oh dear God.
I know, not that guy. I hate that fake guy.
Well, no, but the thing is, I'm noticing on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, a lot of people don't know who he is.
Yep.
Right. And that's going to be the thing that's really going to like, you know, I know who he is. You know what I mean? But the same thing happened with Gavin, right? Like we in the Bay Area knew who Gavin was. We know who he is, you know? So I
Yeah.
feel the same way about Swalwell. I mean, he screwed Pamela Price. And I think the reason why he screwed Pamela Price is something that's still yet to be revealed.
Yep.
And hopefully, like, there is a discovery process of, the people. And unfortunately, the newspapers aren't going to do it for us. The people are going to have to. What was this thing going on with the Jewish jurors and the black jurors when you were in the DA's office? Like, what was that?
Yeah. And then we also have that story from Kate Hallinan about how he put a woman in jail just to get the testimony he wanted against somebody that was charged with murder.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he tortured her by putting her in jail for months.
I mean, the guy, well, he comes from a cop background. He's a cop family guy. He's always worked for the police state. I mean, so he can try to hide behind his past. I mean, well, actually his current persona. He can try to hide these things, but they do exist, So I mean, I'm not enthused. But then again, who else do we have? We got that stupid cop of what's his name coming out of LA, the guy who said I'm voting for the felon. The sheriff.
Yeah.
He's running. So these are options.
Yeah, I know. And Tom Steyer again.
Yeah. And a billionaire.
I'm so sick of that guy.
Another billionaire. Like,
yeah.
No,
who's a Yimby too, by the way.
He's a Yimby, and Gil Duran is actually like boosting for him because they're friends. Apparently, they used to work together. But I'm just like, a billionaire. No, we don't really need that, But just like with what's going on with Weiner and Chan, our options are just so goddamn slim.
Yeah, and governor especially.
Yeah, and the same thing's also true when the upcoming presidential race. What kind of options do we have? I haven't seen anybody like emergent besides Gavin Newsom. That's it. That's the best we can do. Like that's just. But people are just turned off from the process. Maybe I'll run for governor. Jesus Christ.
Well, there's still time for that, for the presidency. The governorship, though, goddamn. I mean, I really hope it gets better because I am not liking the candidates at all. What's another one? Tony Thurman. He's got some issues too with being in charge of being the Secretary of Education for the state. It's not good. It's not looking good. Hopefully somebody shows up. I think they were talking about Bonta maybe too, but I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad about Bonta if he decided to throw his hat in the ring. I wouldn't be mad. I mean, because all the right people hate him. So that's always a good sign.
Yeah, and it'll be good to see too if he blocks Trump's advances to make offshore drilling in California just everywhere, just legal everywhere, which is crazy. There's already enough spots being drilled offshore, but he just wants to make the whole coast open, which is just sick. And honestly, too, like you even talk to people that are in the oil industry, and it's like you're taking risks. You're taking risks allowing for offshore drilling because there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong. And if that stuff goes wrong, I mean, it really is bad for our environment. I mean, especially like do you remember what was the one in off New Orleans, or Louisiana, the deep impact one that blew up and was so huge. I mean, what that did to the ocean was insane. I mean, especially too, like people would just kind of be around the water and have such serious health issues. That stuff is not good. I mean, that is. Oh, go on.
And the thing about California is like we're leading in alternative energy. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that we continue to try to do a petroleum push when we're doing wind and when we're doing in solar. I mean, that is just, it's the exact opposite of where California is trying to go. So, I mean, like, you know, I mean, if California really intends to be the leader in these new industries and this new alternative sources, we can't be also endorsing going backwards. But what's next? We have coal facility in West Oakland. We got offshore drilling over on the coast. Like, no, that's the exact opposite. That's going backwards. That's regressive. Yep. So I kind of hope that California, like, you know, comes to its senses, because as the oil prices go up with Trump, as gas prices go up with Trump, as coal becomes like once again a fatal alternative, I hope California comes to its senses and understands it's leading the way.
Yeah, because it's not going to make that much of a difference getting that oil. I'm sorry. You're not going to see a drop in prices.
No.
I mean, honestly, it can't compete with Saudi Arabia. You know, like it's what it's really about is just letting oil companies do what they want to. And honestly, yeah, like we're going to see more of this push. And actually, you know, what's interesting too, is I was just talking to a guy who works for Chevron, and he was saying that actually what the oil is really being used for, like what they really want it for, is plastics. Honestly, using it for energy and fuel is actually only about like 15% now is what oil companies, it's all going to plastics, because they know it. They actually have to move that way, because guess what? The batteries that are coming out are just so much more efficient and cheaper, you know, and you don't have the emissions and stuff. What you do have though are the battles for minerals, which is what we're seeing all over, especially for chips. You know, that's why NVIDIA, you know, they're all excited about how they're opening offices in San Francisco. NVIDIA is expanding because of AI, and they need to build all these chips. All the AI people like need their chips and are just throwing money at them. So they're set for life. But it's also what is happening: more raping of our land, more battles for minerals, you know, and we'll probably get more reports of like terrible mining conditions in Africa and stuff. You know,
Argentina too. I mean, like I think that's a major part of the deal that they were trying to make to save Argentina and save Malay, was because they have the minerals that we need, particularly lithium. And I'm like, but that's just network state shit, man. Just straight up and down. I mean, people need to get hip to that, you know.
Yes. Well, wasn't it too? There was one of Trump's buddies invested a shit ton of money in Argentina, thinking it was going to pay off, and then when the economy went to crap, he basically just went to Trump and be like, "Can I get some money back?" I mean, that was a part of that 40 billion. I mean, you know, that's going to find its way to that guy.
Well, you know, it's funny though, because it just got reported that 20 million has already been taken back. It already failed. So it was 40 million. Now it's 20 million.
That's billion, right?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, billion. 40 billion is now 20 billion. That happened. That happened over the last like 24 hours. So who's to say if they're going to get any of that goddamn money? Because you know Trump doesn't pay for shit.
Yeah. Oh my God. He just finds ways, you know, makes people sleep in his hotels and that kind of crap. That dude.
Yeah.
Worst president ever, honestly. Though, I mean, George W. is still up there. Still bothers me how they're kind of, you know, revamping his reputation.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, though. Here's what's so crazy. It's like Reagan ripped us off. Bush ripped us off, right? But the blatant ripping off. If like these guys at least had the decency to be like, oh, no, we're not ripping you off. Like, we're going there because of weapons of mass destruction. We're going over there because of, like, you know, Reagan welfare moms. I mean, they always had to do this little cover. Trump does not. He doesn't do any cover. He just goes and he just takes your shit.
Yeah.
This is what?
Like a bully.
He is a bully. It's exactly what he is. He takes your commissary. He just comes over and takes your commissary and says, "What? Do something."
Totally. And especially too, yeah, I mean, and he's got, I mean, everyone loves him for it. That's why they all kiss his butt, you know, because they understand it. Like that's good business practice, apparently.
I think they're all spineless, man. I don't think they have a spine, and I think this has been coming for a long time.
Oh, totally.
They've been encouraging cowardice in us since 9/11. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
cultivating cowardice in the American people.
Yeah, well, it's, I mean, but also too, what an easy way to manipulate someone. You know, you want to get what you want, just kiss their ass.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so great. Look, I got you a gold Rolex, you know. Here's a special award just for you.
Oh, the state of the world, baby.
Oh, God, sucking up to the rich, but that's how they want it, you know.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Oakland though, and how, man, we're seeing the resistance working out. This is what we want. Yes.
Oakland.
Totally. Yes, exactly. I mean, especially this week they had a committee meeting, the public safety committee, talking about installing flock cameras, flock surveillance. That would have been 2.25 million. And we all know what that's about. You know, they get the cops to push it and sell it and say, like, this is going to make your street safer and everything else. But you can't trust what that data is going to, you know, it's all being centralized. And this is the kind of stuff, you know, when you're fighting back against ICE and stuff, this is how you get retaliation, you know, they capture you, they find you, you know, so make sure too, if you're protesting, make sure to wear masks and stuff like that, you know, don't listen to criticism about it. Just, you know, cover yourself, protect yourself.
Yeah. But that's the thing that they didn't understand about Oakland. You know what I mean? I mean, like, for whatever reason, like, you know, it's not just the Panthers. You know what I mean? I mean, like, you know, I was involved in the Oscar Grant protests. I was involved with the Occupy Oakland. I was involved, like, you know, I've marched, I've organized, I've canvassed, all those kind of things. But that is kind of like our culture. Our culture is that. You know what I mean? So like, it's not something that's like in other places, like it's kind of like this thing where something has to happen and the community must respond, the community must organize. But that's actually just a part of Oakland's culture, is to organize. It's a part of our culture to like try to create mutual aid networks. It's just a part of our culture. You know what I mean? Like it's something that even intrinsic as, I just saw a guy who was a security guard at like for our neighborhood. He works for like Trader Joe's. And he brought shoes and a coat to a homeless guy. Just did it. Just went to his trunk, pulled out a pair of shoes, pulled out a jacket, gave it to this guy because it was raining outside and the guy didn't have like decent pair of shoes. We get that all the time around here, you know. So I mean, so this whole thing about thinking that you're going to be able to surveil us into silence is probably impossible. I think, you know, it's just shouts to Cat Brooks for being able to actually bring in the conversation of the network state. She brought up Peter Thiel. She brought up Mark Andreessen. She brought up how Palantir could more than likely try to use those cameras in order not only to surveil us, but to put us on a database, to categorize us, to classify us as Black identity extremists or Antifa or whatever the fuck they want to identify us as. So, I mean, like, I think that her connecting that to a larger international struggle, like this is happening all over the country and all over the world. And it's really rare to see the people stand up the way that people stood up in Oakland over these past couple of days.
Yeah, I'm so glad people are seeing it. And yeah, Cat Brooks is absolutely right. Like this is exactly the stuff we should worry about, especially too when people like Andreessen and Thiel have said we need a new aristocracy, you know, like they want to be the feudal lords. They want to be in charge, you know, and I'm bringing it back to like, you know, the reason why people left for the United States, for the colonies, was to get away with the kind of system they want to set up again, you know? Yeah. It's like they don't realize no one wants to be around that. If you're a little, you know, no one wants to be in their system, like bowing to them and groveling, you know, like they just want to be people, but they're going to insist on that. So, and they need the police to enforce that, hence the network state, hence the, you know, the praising of the cops, holding parades for them is what Balaji Srinivasanan wants to do, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But also, I mean, I think we're getting the same kind of like, I mean, it's a vibe shift. And in a lot of ways, we have ICE and DHS and Border Patrol to thank for that vibe shift. because what it seems to me is that the network state guys, and along with the Project 2025 guys, they bought their own hype, and they really thought that the majority of Americans wanted them, right? So like they get kicked out of DC, they get kicked out of Chicago, they get kicked out of LA, they get kicked out of Portland, they just got kicked out of North Carolina, right? Out of Charlottesville. Charlotte, out of Charlotte, right? And Charlotte was the one that really did like get my wheels spinning, because like it was everybody. And people were coming out with their 2As. They had their pew-pews out there too. And then so what they're going to do is they're going to try to go to New Orleans next. And I'm like, that's good fire. Like, what are you doing? Like you're going to go to a place that's even more hostile towards government intervention, and he has even more guns. And you expect you're going to be welcomed in New Orleans because it's a red state? But what are you thinking, right? But at the same time, I mean, like we were talking about before, if you go to West Virginia, right, it's just going to be like nothing but white people, and that's what happened in North Carolina. There were just too many white people. Oh, let's get to ICE in Oakland.
That's exactly what I wanted to bring up too. Exactly. You know, seriously, we're seeing such great organization in Oakland that when there was just one report of ICE being over at Hoover Elementary, they organized, they were there to push back, which is so great. Seriously, nation, watch what Oakland is doing. Take notes, because this is what it takes to fight back against fascism. You got to organize. You got to be active. You got to be jumping on that, you know?
Yeah, and Councilmember Fife, shout out to Councilmember Fife on that one. She was doing a ribbon cutting a couple of blocks away when the incident happened. There was a chase.
Yes.
And an accident, like someone rammed into another person and running away from these guys.
A pregnant woman.
Yeah. And so Fife was there immediately. Fife was there to help organize. Fife was there to get in front of the cameras and tell people what accurately happened. And like, you know, like, and it's a shame that we can't, like, I will say that the governors and mayors of these cities who have been invaded and terrorized, they do come out. But I think we need to have more people. We need to have more council members. We need to have, like, you know, people every day on the street organizing and trying to talk to their council members and talk to their city councils, being like, we don't want them here. Like they need to make it more clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to see Ken Houston's constituents coming after him, be like, you know, shut up with pushing for surveillance and more military weapons for the police, and take care of this, you know?
Yeah, basically, you know,
because I want to see how he reacts too, because I bet that would cause a split in his community for sure too if you took the ICE side.
Yeah, but I think also it's already happening. I think that's what we saw with the flock camera thing when and also how they fucked up the police commission, right? Like we're not going to get a police chief. We're going to have an interim police chief until next year because you guys fucked it up, so we can't have quorum on our police commission.
Yep.
So you guys kind of hobbled yourself. Maybe you were trying to get a more right-wing, more corrupt police chief, but you're not going to get that now.
Nope.
Nobody gets anything. Everybody loses.
Yeah.
It's just so I think that split is already happening. Also, the same thing is true with what's going on with nobody's talking about dumping anymore. Like dumping is like that's no longer a hot topic. Like, you know, Sam Singer was pushing the dumping thing just like 2 months ago, and Barbara Lee intervened on that, and now she's going after illegal dumpers, and it's more so than the cleanups. She's doing cleanups. But they just finished having another committee meeting about illegal dumpers. And I think behind the scenes, that's actually happening. And that's the reason why we're not talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love that. Now they can't use that narrative against Barbara Lee. She did something about it. What are you going to do? And she was probably, you know, she probably took the best tactic to stop it and go after the real bad guys, the landlords.
Exactly. Which is the answer to everything, really.
Yeah.
That's the answer to everything. That's the answer to everything. You know what you should do? You should go after the landlords.
Yeah. Hey, maybe see what Chris Moore has been doing.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see his testimony for the flock surveillance meeting?
I didn't see it, but I know he's doing a push. What was it?
Well, he tried to claim that the majority of Oaklanders wanted the surveillance cameras,
Oh,
which
yeah.
by the outpouring of denial, you know, like seriously, the committee meeting had way more people against Flock than for it. And
Right.
I mean, the guy lives in Piedmont. How does he actually know what Oaklanders want?
Well, I mean, it was that survey from the Chamber of Commerce where we have yet to get a full report. We have yet to know how many people were actually sampled in that Chamber of Commerce report. We don't know anything about it. Like Moore came out with all the statistics that nobody can actually verify. Nobody can verify his stats. Omar talked about that too. It's we actually had a conversation. I'm like, have you seen the numbers? He said, no, I haven't seen the numbers. And I'm like, well, where is Moore getting the numbers from? Like, does he have an inside thing? Because the Chamber of Commerce, as far as we know, haven't really released these numbers. But he said he had the data, right? But I think that's we figured out last week that it wasn't McConnell's group, right? It was another independent survey group. But they could have just been talking to 10 people. We don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go talk to 10 people and let's make sure that most of them are black when you talk to them, so we can say the majority of people want this. Right. But we don't know. But apparently you were wrong. And never trust anything from Oakland Report. Never trust anything they say, because this is like the third or fourth time that we've actually had Oakland Report say they've had a survey, and that survey always turns out to be wrong. I mean, just clearly wrong. The minute that the people come out, no, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. Who said that we wanted that? Yeah. And the most disingenuous part about it to me is that Moore has a tendency of trying to use black people as tokens, right? So he came out saying the majority of black people in Oakland wanted these. He actually said that. But this is not the first time he's used black people like that. Let us not forget that he actually got a bunch of homeless people and people with disabilities and said they were former Black Panthers, and he put them on the steps of the city hall saying they wanted to come after Carol Fife. Let's not forget this is the guy who did that. Let's not forget this is the guy that agreed with a known racist, right? That he did not. Somebody said, I don't want to rent to black people because it brings down property values. And Chris Moore retweeted that and he agreed with it. Right. So this is who we're dealing with when we're talking about Chris Moore. But then Chris Moore is going to come out and say, I'm concerned about black people. Where? What evidence do we have that that's true? I mean, so I think that's not only disingenuous, it's also kind of dangerous. So I'm always prepared to call it Chris Moore and his bullshit. Always.
Yeah. I mean, because it's a lot of it. I mean, he's clearly too. We know your game, buddy. We know what you're trying to do. You honestly don't care about this stuff. You just want to get what you want and protect your property values. That's it. That is number one for you, not the people, property values. And that's the same thing. Let's be real about the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
No one should trust the Chamber of Commerce. I'm sorry. They are a lobbying group.
Yep.
Honestly, all they want is to help business. That is why they were started. Yep. That is why they're around. And we know how business practices, we know in business world, it's Machiavellian, the ends justify the means, and that's it. That's what they're going for. So, I could easily see it with the Chamber of Commerce when they did this survey or whatever, just using their people that are already signed up, for the Chamber of Commerce, people that are already on their side. Probably all up in the hills, they're not talking to people in the flats, No.
Same old manipulation. But I mean, like I say, I mean, I think that Oakland has a very unique position because we are a place that has always been under assault. And when you're constantly under assault, it does cause the resistance. The resistance comes from the assault, not the other way around. Resistors are not attacking. Resistors are resisting. And that's really what I think that's what's being triggered in this country all over, right? Is this whole idea that it was a 50-50 split, which probably wasn't true to begin with. Then Trump got a mandate, which would now be how, right? We're now saying how, because we're seeing we're seeing the No Kings marches, we're seeing how people are responding, and their so-called red states. People are not welcoming of this aggression and are not welcoming of these assaults. So how? So we're learning things. We're learning things, and unfortunately, we got ourselves in this shit show. But I think during the shit show, we're going to get more and more of these reveals of how the American people actually feel. And I think it's going to be this thing of we let this thing go too far. How do we get it back?
Yeah, I think people I think this is kind of great. I think it's radicalizing people, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, and hopefully that's good. Hopefully people act on it though, and not, just go with whatever Dems tell them, like they really see and really think about what's going to make a difference, and they do the hard work of reading news stories that bum them out and
they're not going to do
like
that shit.
they're
not going to do that shit, man. No, our only hope, Paul Thomas Anderson's movie.
Anderson, yeah.
Okay, and then you got what you call
the Superman.
Superman's one of them, but not as much as what was it? Freaky Tales.
Oh yes,
you got Sinners. What we need is what we really need is a real culture war. Because that is really that's the way that people don't realize exactly how radicalizing we're coming up on the holidays, but how radicalizing It's a Wonderful Life was during that period, right? That movie radicalized so many people, right? They came to understand things like buildings and loans. They came to understand how houses were built in their communities. They came to understand that the banks were the bad guys. There's so many things that are actually in that movie to the degree where McCarthy was don't talk about that movie anymore. So I think that's what we need, because and I'm not putting that on people, because I think, like I said last week, waking up in the morning, man, and when you're like us, you're a journalist. So the first thing you do is hit the news, and the next thing you do is you vomit. Who wants to do that, man?
I know, you throw your phone in frustration. Yeah, I know. I don't know how many conversations where I've had to be like, hey honey, can I talk to you about this news story? And she just the reservation of me just wanting to bring up a headline. She's like, oh god, no, what is this gonna do? How is this gonna ruin my day? But it's also too great point about pop culture being involved with the resistance. Especially too, think about Public Enemy. We used to have pop songs that were fight the power,
Yeah, and I think that's
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine, Public Enemy, Rage Against the Machine, Brand New. There's so many people who actually resistance models. You know what I mean? I think it's going to come back because it has to. In a lot of ways, we allowed media to be hijacked. And it was long before this, CBS, NBC, ABC. They've been like this for years. They've been like this for decades.
Manufacturing consent.
Yeah, Oh, thank you, Chomsky's on the list. What?
I know.
Anyway. But I agree. I think that there needs to be more of that, because that's how you reach the people. It's hard to reach the people. And in fact, the Panthers understood that too. They had their own band called the Lumpen.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they understood that there's a whole bunch of people who are just too busy or too squeamish, right, to really get in there and get their hands dirty. And it's not really their fault.
Yeah. It's understandable. There's so much other stuff to think about. But again, if you want to keep being brought down, if you want to stop people like Trump, you honestly have to act locally.
Yep.
Follow what's going on in Oakland, Yep. And by the way, real quick, I want to recommend a record and book that people should check out by a guy named Pat Thomas. It's all about the music that was made by the Black Panther Party, called Listen Whitey.
I reviewed that book.
Oh, great.
I reviewed that book. You guys can look up D Scott Miller, Listen Whitey. I reviewed that book when it first came out for the San Francisco Bay Guardian.
Love it. Well, what'd you think of it?
Oh, I said that hunky wrote a really good black book. That's how I ended the review. I said that hunky wrote a really good black book.
I bet he loved that too. I kind of know Pat. He's great.
Yeah, he did. He did actually. That's
so awesome.
Yeah, that had to be 2010, 2011, something like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Great book, great accompanying CD. I still have both. And you learn amazing things. For example, Huey Newton's favorite album was Highway 51 Revisited during that period.
Oh, I believe it.
So in fact, two people were highly inspired by Highway 51 visited by Bob Dylan. It was Huey and Jimi Hendrix. When Jimi Hendrix first heard that album, he drove his wife crazy with it, or his girlfriend drove her crazy. She said he played it 24/7 for like 3 weeks. It just like she just couldn't get away from that album. So nice little piece
especially
of trivia.
it's the inspiration for him too to be able to sing. He was always afraid of singing,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he didn't like people
Hell
to
of
see
that.
him sing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if this guy could sing, if this voice was popular. So we gotta.
But I love Dylan though. So I'm just teasing. I love Bob Dylan.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, no. We'll still all respect him. Not a fan of the 80s stuff, but
no.
yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
The early stuff is rocking though. You got to give it to him.
Oh man. Yeah, I love even like Nashville Skyline and stuff when he tried to sing normally. Yeah, love that stuff.
Yeah.
So we should talk to you about we mentioned Gil before. This thing made me so mad. The Silicon Valley's extortion letter to Democrats. I mean, this just says to me everything, especially the arrogance of the network state folks that we have to deal with. I mean, the fact that they're just going like, I mean, literally this former, what was she with Palantir?
Yeah, she's Palantir.
Oh my God. You have no legs to stand on, lady. Like you should not be talking.
Vice President of National Security at Palantir.
Yeah, no. We all know how evil your company is. And literally her whole thing is just, hey, you know what? You have to please Silicon Valley Democrats. If you want to stick around, if you want to make a difference, please Silicon Valley. And that's just disgusting. That's Gil puts it right. That is blackmail. That is extortion. And this is definitely the kind of stuff we should be pushing back on and really showing the people that aren't paying attention to show. I mean, we could talk about network stake as much as we can, but that's still this kind of disconnected idea for a lot of people. It's almost like a theory. Oh, and that's like, and I could see it too being hard to believe. Like, really? They want to have like a new society where it's like reds and grays. What are you talking about? You know, it sounds so far-fetched, but that is truly what they're pushing for. And stuff like this demonstrates it.
Right. I mean, to me, I was like, well, back when I first heard about the network state, like we talked about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, what kind of nerdy D&D bullshit is this? that's really how I felt about it. I was like, Palantir, what kind of nerdy D&D shit is this? But
I know it because it comes from Lord of the Rings, right?
It comes from Lord of the Rings. I'm like, what you guys gonna do? You're gonna try to roll for health? Is that what we're doing here now?
I love it. Yeah. Of all those guys too, like we will rule the world with 20-sided die.
Yeah, that's what exactly it is. Like, what the fuck? But I did read it differently though, because the thing is it's like somebody did this in an unrelated way, but they said it was MAGA versus everybody else. It's not MAGA versus Democrats. It's MAGA versus everybody else. It's not tech fascists versus Democrats, right? Tech fascists are just MAGA versus everybody else, right? Like you do not have to be a Democrat to hate tech fascism. You do not have to be a Democrat to hate MAGA, right? They're the ones who put together this false dichotomy. That false dichotomy does not exist. I really don't call myself a Democrat. I vote Democratic. Right. Yep. But if it were an alternative that actually had the power to do those changes on that large of a scale, I would probably go to another party, because a lot of things I'm still disappointed from the Democratic Party itself. Right. So when somebody says, what's your political affiliation? I rarely say Democrat. Right. I say I'm anti-fascist, anti-capitalist, anti-racist. Like, you know, I'm against the MAGA of America. That's what I am. So, I mean, I think the way that I read that is that, but didn't you say that it was inevitable? Didn't you say that your MAGA tech fascism was inevitable? Didn't you say that you're going to ignore the Democrats? Didn't you say that? Didn't you say the Democrats were not worthy of your attention? Right? So why all of a sudden are you coming over the Democrats and saying, okay, you guys do have some power. Okay, you guys do have some money. To me, that actually is anathema to what your position was last year.
Yep.
Last year, you said you didn't need the Democrats at all. And the same things also happening with the Black and brown communities in America. Like, wasn't your white supremacist, white nationalist agenda supposed to be the thing that Black and brown people were disposable, that Black and brown people were easily dismissed, that we were going to throw Black and brown people out of all the jobs, right? Black women have been just totally purged from the government, right? 300% rise in Black women unemployment, 300%, right? So your whole idea at just 10 months ago was, we're going to dispose of you guys. We're going to get rid of you. We don't need you, right? We're going to go after the brown people. We're going to get rid of them. We don't need them, right?
Yes. And did you see the thing from the Secretary of Education about how they're with loans and how they're not going to go? And you can tell, you look at those are all jobs, careers that are majority for women, or not for women, but
majority women. And so my thing is,
and probably Black women, let's be real.
Women, right?
Yeah, especially it's like nurses, therapists, that kind of stuff,
But the thing is, though, is if you don't need us, then why do you need us?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's the real question. If you don't need us, then why do you need us? If Palantir and tech fascism was saying that we've already defeated the Democrats, why are you talking to the Democrats?
Why? Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's because they know they're going to get their asses handed to them.
Bingo!
It's true. They could see the writing on the wall. It's looking bad for them, especially after this last election, about how they just had their asses handed to them. Like especially even the Moms for Liberty. Oh my God, they were destroyed. All this stuff, all these projects they had been building forever. Steve Bannon, leading the way, trying to get all this stuff together. It's all falling apart.
Well, and also because it was never inevitable. We were supposed to like Project 2025 was really a short-term implementation. It was supposed to happen over the first 6 months or something, right?
Yep.
And people have been saying that Trump has gotten 50% of it done, right? But 100% should have been done by now. For some reason, they already had it written in the plan that it's supposed to be fast tracked through. This is supposed to be done within the first three months of his presidency. It got stalled out. Right? So now they're having to regroup. And I think that's really what's going on. I mean, we did not accept the inevitability that they said they had. We did not accept the overwhelming numbers that they said they had.
Yep.
And I think that's really what we're seeing is Palantir's just okay, Democrats, maybe we didn't beat you guys all the way, so maybe you guys should help us a little bit with some money or whatever. No.
Yeah, but maybe it just has to be in our terms. You still have to give us money, But we'll come to the Democrats, but as long as you pay me.
Altman's doing the same thing with AI. Altman's already going to the government being like, okay, well, maybe it's not going to make that much money early on. Maybe you guys give us another $30 billion. No.
Yeah. There's no way, dude, you're going to get trillions in revenue from OpenAI. There's no way.
No, you guys are barely being able to make cartoons. What the fuck are you talking about?
Totally. Well, and that's the thing, too. And they still don't have the processing power. Hence, NVIDIA blowing up like it is. Actually, I just shared this great TikTok where the guy was talking about what's going on in Amazon. Amazon had a bunch of layoffs, right? Like 50,000, something like that. It was a crazy number. And people were like, oh, it's AI because AI is taking their jobs. No, it's not. They're not taking their jobs. They need to free up money to buy the chips to pay for all the AI they want to run. It's right. It's such a stupid plan. But seriously,
it's a stupid plan. And they're going around paying each other. It's just like this endless loop of money. You take it and I'll take your money back, and give me your money and I'll give you my money back. And okay, it's still the same money. You guys aren't making money. You're just sharing it with each other and doing this thing that's inflating it through speculation. But you still have the same amount of money. You've not made any more money. It's just
Yeah, I know. I hate the system so much. And
I hate
but at least I think, yeah, but I think the normies are seeing it now. And I think too, when you're talking about Project 2025, I think a big part of it too is that the normies are going like, wait, what does this mean? Like, you're not going to subsidize my farm anymore? Wait a minute, what? Like, I was getting SNAP. I need to feed my what? I mean, I'm a good person, you know, like why do you want to take away? I'm one of you, you know, they're seeing, no, you weren't, buddy. No, you
all
weren't.
of America is about to experience. All of America is about to experience what's happening to Latino men in this country. All of America is going to experience that.
Exactly.
What do you think you were one of the good ones? Did you think you were one of the good ones?
Yes, exactly this. So, well, hopefully it just keeps, you know, going back the other way, you know.
Yeah,
because there's gonna have to be a lot of stuff we have to repair.
Oh man, you know, I personally, like, you know, I'm of the school though that there were a lot of things that could have been done and should have been done, like say 50, 60 years ago. And those things were never done. Right. Like, you know, like I just saw this thing from, of all people, Adam Schiff, after the Coast Guard from Kristi Noem saying, okay, well, you know what? Swastikas are okay. Swastikas are fine. You know, Confederate flags, that's cool. That's cool. If you guys want to put nooses all over the place, it's totally your prerogative. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say it's no longer hate speech. I'm gonna say it's what she call it? Forgive something that's not hate speech. That's what she called it, right? And then Schiff is going to come out, Adam Schiff, and this is one of the faults that drives me crazy about the Democrats. Schiff comes out and he goes, "I don't think people understand." No, Schumer, I don't think people understand like how triggering the swastika is. We need to do something about white supremacy and anti-Semitism. I was like, motherfucker, you guys should have been talking about that like 50 years ago.
Yeah,
right. Like you dropped white supremacy as something you should be fighting. The minute that the Civil Rights Act passed, you're like, okay, we're done. No more white supremacy. So here you are now. and if you guys had just done some shit about that 50 years ago, we probably wouldn't be having to deal with it today. Right. Yeah. And so what's your plan to keep the swastika from coming back onto our ships? What's your plan for keeping the Confederate flag from coming back onto our poles? What's your plan? I haven't seen one. And you guys are still acting as if that's not happening. So what?
I know.
What's
they
next?
did reverse it. It, but still, it's ridiculous that that should have never been an issue. That should have never been posted or even considered. But then also too, you got to remember, like Kristi Noem is just thinks the Coast Guard is like her personal bank. I mean, she did have the Coast Guard buy her 2 private jets for $172 million.
And we also learned that she's been using ICE as her own personal kind of like laundering center, where like a lot of the money that went through ICE was going towards her campaigns. Like, so, yeah, she's a crook.
Yeah, it's probably all going to her face.
Oh God, she needs all that money just to keep it from slipping off, man. God,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, she probably avoids the sun, so it just doesn't melt like plastic. Totally. All right, I think that's a good place to stop. You want to wrap it up, buddy?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Oh yeah, okay. Also, I updated. If you go to my Substack, D Scot Miller Substack, I updated my mutual aid list to include Thanksgiving meals and Thanksgiving baskets for Alameda County and Contra Costa County. So if you know anybody who's going to be feeling stretched next week, be sure to check out my Substack. It's free. You don't even have to subscribe, and get that list to the people who might need it.
Definitely. Please share that around. We'll put a link in the comments for this episode. Also, folks, if you are watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We're actually kind of building up the subscriptions there. Hopefully it can turn into some kind of revenue to keep this thing going. That'd be wonderful. So please get people to subscribe. We're doing good content. And I'm telling you, if you subscribe and you follow what we're doing, you're going to learn something that you're glad you knew. So honestly, just keep up with it. And then follow us on all the socials too. Oh, what's going to say?
Also, I mean, what we also do is we're really good. I mean, what people don't seem to realize is the people we're talking to have their own networks. So basically when you subscribe with us and listen to us on a regular basis, you're actually talking to a whole vast network of people in the Bay Area who already have their own systems in place. And so you can learn not just from us, but you can learn from the experts that we talk to, because we are an organization of experts. So that, like, I want to remind people about that. We're not just talking. We're talking, and we're learning, and we're teaching.
Yes, definitely with that. Yes. And then also support our Patreon. $1 a month goes a long way. And till next time,
keep fighting the good fight.
That's right.